This video will solve the past paper question of the topic structure of an atom. The first question is how many electrons and protons are in ion of an element in group 2 of periodic table. Opening the periodic table, we know that group 2 elements are metals and they form ions. Therefore, an element must have electron less than its number of proton. And if we use this information, Bravo is the correct answer for this question because that's the only option where number of electrons are less than the number of proton, as the group 2 elements are forming the positive ion, so they lose electron while forming the formation of cation. So the element must have electron number less than the number of proton, which is only in Bravo option. So that is the answer for this question. My next question is which diagram shows a positively charged ion? Okay, to first before approaching the options, we must know that positively charged ions have more number of proton as compared to the number of electron. Because in atomic structure, we study that protons have positively charged ions and electrons have negatively charged ions. So the more the number of proton will give a positive charge to the atom. And according to this information, alpha is the correct option for this question. Because in Bravo, there are 3 protons and 3 electrons, so they are equal. That's a neutral atom. In Charlie, we have 9 protons, and if we count, we have 9 electrons, so it is again a neutral atom. And in case of Delta, we have 9 proton, and if you count, there are 8 in the last and 2 in the first, so we have 10 electrons, so that is a negatively charged ion. So alpha is the correct option for this question according to this explanation. Next question is hydrogen and helium have isotopes as shown below. In which of these isotopes does the nucleus have twice as many neutrons as proton? I have calculated the number of proton and neutron for each of the option for you. You can easily see that in the option which is having twice as many neutron than its proton is option B, which is hydrogen, because in alpha option proton and neutron are equal. In Bravo, proton is 1 and neutron is 2, so that means neutrons are twice as many proton. Charlie says proton are more than neutron and Delta says proton are equal to neutron. So the question is have twice as many neutron as proton, so neutron should be more than proton. So Bravo is the correct answer for this question. The question says an element X forms a positive ion with the electronic structure of 288. It means that forming this electronic structure, the atom must have lost an electron. If it has lost an electron, then it should have 1 proton more than this electronic structure total. Yeah. So question is what is the proton or atomic number for this atom? And our options are 16, 17, 18 and 19. But the total for the electronic structure is 8 and 8, 16 and 2, 18. So it should have 1 number more than this total. So it should be 19, because while forming a positive ion, the atom has lost an electron, but it has not lost any proton. So the proton number should be 1 more than this total, which should be delta, which is 19. The next and the last question of this video is which statement about atom and ion is correct? Before I read the option, you must know that atom is neutral, ion has a charge, ion are of 2 types, the positive and the negative. The positive ions are formed when an atom loses an electron and a negative ion is formed when an atom gains an electron. Now let's read the options. Alpha says atoms and ions of the same element must have different number of neutrons. No, only number of electrons can be different, but neutrons and protons remain the same. Neutrons are different for the isotopes, not for the ions of the same atom. Bravo says isotopes of the different elements must have different number of neutrons. So the question is which statement about atom and ion is correct, but the Bravo statement is about isotopes. Charlie says the charge on a positive ion is equal to nucleon number minus number of neutron minus number of electron. Let's understand this option by considering the example of sodium, which is 1123, and it belongs to the first group, so it forms a ion of +1. So if it is having a nuclear number of 23 and it has a proton number of 11, that means it has 12 neutrons. So 23 minus 12 is 11, and that is the proton number. So when a sodium ion has lost one electron, it is left with 10 electrons. So 11 minus 10 makes +1, which is the charge on sodium, and it forms a positive ion. Getting back to the question, we know that that is the correct option. Delta is the number of proton and neutron in an atom must be the same. No, that is not the condition. There are some atoms and that they don't have the same number of proton and neutrons, so they do form ions. And basically the statement is asking to compare or to tell that which statement is correct for both atom and ion. So Charlie is the correct option for that question. Because we have just calculated the example of sodium, that how it justifies the formula. So Charlie is the correct answer for this question. That's all for this video. I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you. God bless. Allah Hafiz.